Irish Dutchkan, Gunachchish Ha'iyadi. And so that was just a very basic Tlingit introduction. I said, good morning. My Tlingit name is Hlagunk, and I am a member of the Chukanady clan, a child of the Kachadi, and a grandchild of the Irish. I'm not a fluent speaker, but I do believe in bringing our language into our space, especially when we're representing Native organizations, and I think bringing that in is very important. I really just want to welcome everyone here today. I'm just sharing about our digital archive story, and I am not an expert, but I think that's one of the great reasons to share, is that I think a lot of us, especially in our smaller communities, are not experts. We're not trained with the backgrounds necessary in order to carry out archives, library or historical preservation work. But we are who it matters to most, and there's so much we can do. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of our story, and hopeful that it is helpful to you all. And as Julie mentioned, I'm so happy to answer any questions or any follow-ups that anyone may have. Starting off here with the mission of our organization. I work for Huna Heritage Foundation, and I serve as the executive director. And this is Huna, Alaska. I love Huna, and just wanted to be able to show you all where I'm tuning in today from. We're rural, remote. We have about 800 people. But our people also live all over the world, which is the beauty of having the digital archives. We are the largest Tlingit village, and for those who may not know, that Tlingit is one of the indigenous peoples of Southeast Alaska, and Tlingits are located elsewhere. We are surrounded by ocean and mountains and wilderness and wildlife. In fact, we have more bears on the island than people. We have about 4 bears for every 1 person. But it's just a beautiful community. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about Huna Heritage Foundation. We are the nonprofit affiliate of Huna Totem Corporation, which is our local village corporation established by the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act. And to share, I think most organizations in small communities, we have a lot that we're doing. And so I just wanted to provide a little bit of context. We do provide scholarships for our shareholders and their descendants for college, vocational, and cultural. And our library and archives are just one important part of our work. And you can see some other things that we do here, but I just wanted to share that we did, our Native corporation, Huna Totem, did shareholder surveys in 2012 and 2019 to identify the priorities of those that we serve. And the number 1 priority was providing scholarships for advanced education. But the second highest priority to shareholders was library and archives work, and the access and use of what was held in our archives. So really, the work that we're doing with our digital archives is the priority is driven by our shareholders, by our community, and by those that we serve. And so talking about the what, I feel like the gist of it, if you'd had to sum it up, would be our digital archives is a box of knowledge. And here is showing a screenshot of our digital archives that you can visit online. We have a rich cultural history, and science has dated us in the area for over 10,000 years. Although my father and other elders would say we've been here since time before memory. And so really this digital archives is a place to gather and to hold and to store and to provide access to that cultural and historical material. And our mission for the digital archives is preserving and providing access to material of historic and cultural value for the education and enjoyment of current and future generations, because there's some really great stuff, and our histories are so important to who we are. And so by providing this access, we're really contributing, I think, to that, the education of current and future generations and the enjoyment. So here I have pictured our traditional foods, and really to go in further to what it is that we're doing. I wanted to share this concept, this Tlingit concept and value of Hashuka, which really refers to the interconnections of past, present, and future generations. And so I think of, and in our culture, I feel like metaphors are often used to help bring about a shared understanding. And so to me, I've always thought of, the work that we're doing, what we're doing, a lot like our traditional foods. And it takes a lot to gather these foods. And it's really, our traditional foods provide not only the physical nourishment, but spiritual nourishment. And so a lot goes into gathering and processing and preserving. And if you leave those foods on the shelf, they're not fulfilling that intended purpose of that nourishment of body and mind and soul. And so the work that we're doing with the digital archives is, in essence, bringing what our elders had prepared for us forward to nourish us today. And we are adding to this archives work for future generations and carrying forward the work that was done by our ancestors and those that came before us. We really want to honor that work and honor those elders and honor those future generations. And so getting into some of the how, we got to, myself and at the time, Sarah Dibdahl, who was with Huna Heritage Foundation, we participated in the Washington State University's Tribal Stewardship Cohort Program. And I can't say enough about the cohort model. I think it's an excellent way to learn. And for those of us who were not professionally trained within, the standard, I guess, way of becoming an archivist or a librarian, or, we are able to come together and learn the skills necessary to do the work that we're trying to do. And it really set a foundation of how to do this work, including things like developing our policies, that framework that we need to carry out this work, and learning how to do digitization, learning where to find resources, how we can self-teach and draw upon others that are also trying to learn and also trying to share our histories and our knowledge and the work of those that came before us. So it was extremely helpful to participate in this program. And we spent 1 year going down to Washington State University there in Pullman. And we spent 4 different visits over 1 year. And we did work back at home and shared it back with one another. And a very rewarding and enriching experience. And pictured are the other cohort members. We had, I believe, 5 different Native communities throughout the US represented here. And so how Also, we use the Mukadu content management system, and Mukadu is an Aboriginal word um, meaning a dilly bag, which is a safekeeping place. And so it's a free, mobile and open source platform. And really it is built with Indigenous communities, at the heart and driving. We are able to share materials. There isn't a cost associated with with using the CMS. And I really appreciate that you don't have to know things like HTML coding or computer programming because I not only do not know those things, but I am not tech savvy at all. And so basically, this is the entire framework. And if anyone's familiar with Wix, it's to me, it seems very similar in that there's the kind of like the template and you get to put in your own content and customize it to your community and your cultural protocols. And there's different levels of access that you can decide what gets shared and how it gets shared. Also, we started with what we had. And so when we were developing our Mukadu instance and developing our digital archives, we started with pictures. And we felt like not only was this an easy place to start, but starting with something like pictures to provide visual examples of what digital archives is, what it means, how it works to our community. We felt that we had a lot of pictures within our archive that we could scan and digitize and create content on our Mukadu instance. Whereas some of our audio recordings, we weren't quite sure yet how to navigate access and use of things, for example, songs. So if we had songs that were clan owned and not quite sure how to respectfully and appropriately provide access to those. But it is much easier to be able to show community members what it is that you're working with and what the site is like. And, a website can mean so many different things. And so pictures were a really great place for us to start with our digital archives and really provides powerful visual material that people can learn about our community and our culture and our history. And let's see, also, how includes funding. As I mentioned, we are the nonprofit affiliate of Huna Totem Corporation. And so our primary funding source comes from Huna Totem. And really, there is an investment in the work that we do because the work is part of the mission and vision and guiding principles of our corporation. We also get a significant amount of funding from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. We're so grateful to participate in the Native American basic grant, and we also have received funds from the enhancement grant. We are also have gotten funding from the National Endowment for the Humanities. And so I feel that just grant funds are really essential to carrying out the work that we do. And we're able to fund positions, supplies, materials. We also include an evaluator in our grants to help us evaluate the effectiveness of the work that we're doing and to do the reporting, the grant reporting. And so why do we do some of this work? Here I've got pictured two items mask and a basket, and those are both held physically in the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian, and or NMAI. And we've been working with NMAI on a project Mukuru shared through Washington State University, and taking the Mukuru platform a step further for that, taking round trip. So sharing the repositories, including NMAI, as well as the Library of Congress and the National Anthropological Archives, identifying Huna specific materials held within their repositories. And so in looking at the why of this work, we have a lot of scattered histories. And so working with repositories, we're able to do like essentially a knowledge repatriation and bring back the knowledge of our histories, of our art, of our these powerful visuals. When we talk about a rich art history, what does that mean? What does it look like? And so the mask actually was an item that was stolen by an explorer from an Icht grave, which I think an Icht can be understood most closely associated with a shaman. So for us, that was a seer, a healer, someone who helped our community. And so to desecrate a grave is something that would never be done by anybody from the community. However, because this explorer had taken this item, it actually ended up at the National Museum of the American Indian, and bringing, now it gives us the opportunity to be able to see something that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to. This is something where there are many things that were stolen from communities, and by providing that knowledge repatriation and bringing these objects even digitally back home, provides that a deeper understanding of our histories, of our art, of our culture. Also pictured there, the basket, it was also from the National Museum of the American Indian, but this is an item that was purchased from a local weaver and in the early 1900s, and is just a beautiful example of the artistry, and so something that we don't have available to us locally, but by providing these images on our digital archives and providing, the information that both the museum had and that we can add from local knowledge and family and understanding of this basket, we're able to bring that knowledge home. So as part of gathering our lost history, we have a lot of history gaps for many reasons. I believe that the fact that we are an oral-based culture, a lot of our histories weren't written. There wasn't a written language until for us until the 1970s. And so there's a lot of gaps there where traditional forms of passing knowledge, we'd lost some of that with the introduction of Western cultures and ways of living, ways of being. We also, in Huna in 1944, suffered a devastating fire. And so pictured here is actually an image from our digital archives where the entire town burned to the ground. And so not being a culture with a written language, a lot of our histories were held within our art, within our regalia, or the clan-owned objects, which are called a'u. And so all of these priceless and precious materials that carried our histories within them were burned and destroyed. And so for our community in particular, in addition to those history gaps, and the the many reasons why it's difficult for Indigenous communities, we also suffered this devastating fire. So it is very important to us to gather what we can from within our community, from within our organization. Had people donating since we began in 1990 as an organization. There were elders invested in passing on histories and entrusted our organization with photos, with audio interviews, with video footage, and so bringing together these histories and filling in those history gaps is a significant reason why we do the work that we do. As I mentioned, it's a centralized, accessible location for Huna history. And I have pictured here from our digital archive site, one of our projects that we did with Huna veterans. And we have a high number of veterans per capita, a very proud community, very proud of our veterans, very proud of our military service men and women. But there wasn't anywhere that told these stories and shared these histories. And so we interviewed as part of an IMLS funded project. We interviewed over 40 local veterans on their military service and their experience. They provided us with photos. Some of the interviewees provided many, others had less available, but they were all very happy to share. And going back to earlier when I had mentioned starting with photos, it was really great to have in the Mukurtu instance, our digital archives set up with photos so we could show them, this is what the site looks like. And what we want to do is, share any photos that you have, and we'll put up your name and the branch and the years, and then any information that you want to provide us. And we recorded the audio interviews and then let the person listen to the interviews. So what's happened since then is we've had family members say, I didn't know my uncle was a paratrooper. A lot of times, when we don't have the space for stories to be told, the stories are left untold. And so it was a really beautiful opportunity to really bring out some of these stories. Since then, these interviews and these stories have been used by our local school, our students, as well as the school that we work with in Juneau. And they have gone onto our site on Veterans Day to be able to listen to some of these interviews and really localize what a veteran is and learn some of those stories. And so where we have our digital archives online, which provides access anywhere. As I mentioned, our Huna people are all over the world. And so I remember being in college up in Fairbanks and wanting to do some presentations for a rural development class that I had, but I had nowhere to access any Huna materials, any Huna photos that I could use for my presentations. And so I'm really excited to be part of a process where we can make accessible Huna history, Huna photos, Huna interviews, and video to wherever anyone is. And that, of course, is specific to online access. So wherever anyone has online access. But in addition to what the digitization and online access does is it lends to physical possibilities. And that's something that we learned through developing our digital archives. It meant that photos that were once just stored in an archive we were able to make presentations and slideshows to show at community events. We were able to include them in our newsletters. So Huna people anywhere who were receiving these could see some photos, read some articles from our archives. They could access at town meetings and gatherings that we'd have doing presentations and showing actually some of those short films. Pictured here is the Huna Heritage Foundation Digital Archives calendar. And so by having these items, these photographs online, we were able to actually highlight the images from the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian and create a calendar. And the cost to create the calendar was part of what we wrote into our IMLS basic grant. And so this was something we started in 2021, and we made enough for shareholders as well as community members who may not be shareholders, partner organizations, and really allowed us to provide access to images that are available online, but recognizing that not everyone is online. And some of our elders, for instance, or maybe someone just lacks online access at their home. And so really having a digital archives presents numerous opportunities to take what has been digitized, whether it's a photo or sharing audio. We keep on hand USB, but also we have CDs and DVDs because while it may not be the best format for preservation, it is very handy for access, which is extremely important to us. We want to share the materials as much as possible to those who are interested. So by having these materials on our digital archives, we're able to easily share them with folks that are interested. Also, part of where I've got some of these different platforms here, in order to upload videos onto our Mukadu instance, our digital archives, we have to first have them on YouTube, and then we provide the link on when we're inputting and creating what's called a digital heritage item. We use the YouTube link. You can make them private on YouTube, but we found that it's actually another access point, and the whole goal for us is access and use of the materials. And we've had community members who have said, I don't go on social media. I'm not on Facebook, and I'm not, on. It was a local gentleman that owned a fishing boat here, and he said, but I do use YouTube a lot because of all the how-to videos on there. And so I appreciate being able to access the videos created by Huna Heritage Foundation on YouTube. So YouTube serves a couple of purposes. It allows us to host and display and share videos on our digital archives, and it also provides another access point. Facebook is something that's really widely used in our community. And so we will often take images or video clips or sometimes previews, because you can't, get, very large videos up on Facebook. Sometimes we'll make a 5-minute preview that we can then put on Facebook and provide links then to the full interview or the full video. So Facebook provides another great access point. We are a small organization, And so we do not have the hosting capabilities to host the platform. And again, I'm not a tech savvy person, so I probably don't have all the right language, but as far as my understanding, we don't have the space. And so we go through Reclaim Hosting, and they host our site. And so they have the space, we pay for the space, and it's actually a very nominal cost. If anyone's interested in that, please feel free to email me. I don't have that readily available, but it is it's a very modest expense that allows us to do the digital archives and not have to worry about storage. We also use SoundCloud, much like we use YouTube, and that is for audio. And so we take those large audio files and provide a link to create the digital heritage items, which is what you use to access on our Mukurtu instance on our digital archives. And so I just wanted to share some of these platforms and where we go to in order to help make the digital archives possible. So to share a little bit about who we serve, my favorite is, or one of my favorites is serving the students. And we do a lot of work with the schools. This picture here is a local Huna student in high school. And Brett Dillingham, who works for us here at Huna Heritage, is a professional storyteller, teaches storytelling. And so we had set up to where he would come into Huna City schools and teach storytelling to the students. And the students all wrote their own stories inspired by our archive content. And so they went on to the digital archives and looked at the different materials available. And they use that to inspire the stories that they wrote. And then they practiced and performed in front of live audiences. So we really tried to do public events, community gatherings. We've shown our videos at meetings, local meetings. I really appreciate going to existing gatherings because then you're not trying to drum up your own audience who may not even know what is a digital archive or what is an archive. And so by going to existing venues and gatherings or meetings and doing a presentation really, I think, expands your audience into those who you want to reach, the public, the community. And we really loved this storytelling workshop that we did within the schools. It was very well received by the students and teachers and the parents. I also wanted to share who does the work. We are a small team, and so we have here on the left is Brett Dillingham. And as I mentioned, his background includes professional storytelling, teaching storytelling. He's also a published author, a researcher, and an educator. We have pictured in the center is Jeff Scaffoldstead. He's a retired teacher here from Huna, as well as a Tlingit artist. He's pictured there with some of his artwork. He's a carver. He's carved totem poles, and he is a historian. He's from Huna, and he's a member of the Chukanadi clan. And then pictured to the right is myself. I serve as the executive director. and I do a lot of the administration and oversight. And it's these gentlemen who are doing the bulk of the project work. We are going to be hiring another position, and had another person part of our team, but that really still is just a staff of 4. And what really helps, I've learned, and along with the different cohort members within that tribal stewardship cohort program, is it's essential to have somebody dedicated to doing the digital archives work, or the archives work. So trying to create a digital archives with somebody who already has a full plate is really going to prolong that length of time, because having somebody that you can dedicate. So taking the opportunity to write a grant and get a position dedicated just to doing the digital archives work will take you so much faster and so much farther than trying to just have somebody already on your team with their full position and adding on to it. And so what I wanted to do is show you our site. And so if you go to archives.hunaheritage.org, you will see this is what you'll come up to. This is our digital archives. We've got our mission. You can have featured content here. You can browse by category. We started, as I mentioned, with photographs. And so the photographs that we had in our collection really determined the categories that we would use. And we're actually looking to expand the categories, and we'll be adding 4 more categories. At the bottom here, I have just this link to SurveyMonkey, which is, we keep the surveys really short. I think it's like 5 questions, and then, but it's really helpful feedback. We have up at the top these buttons here. You can go to our About page, learn a bit about why we digitize, what we digitize, how, the infrastructure we use, copyright status, access, and our contact information here. As I mentioned, you can browse by category. We are a fishing community, always have been and always will be. It's another part of our history that we're really proud about. And so we have a significant amount of photographs here. We're known as the home of the $1 Million Fleet. And we can have different community records. And so this photograph was actually used within a publication by Glacier Bay National Park. And so the publication is actually right here, and you can access that publication. Here's the description that was used in their publication and the photograph. And so on ours, we have a local elder who is also a retired fisherman who provided some information here. And then we can also include a map. We have our traditional knowledge labels here, some of our metadata, our rights statement. You can use some keywords. We also have a collections tab. We're actually in the process, because of our digital archive work and learning how to process our digital collections, really have developed a strong foundation and basis of understanding of the process to organize our physical archives. And so we have spent the last 2 years organizing and processing, because we've been really great at collecting materials, and but it had not ever been processed to archival standards. We've now got unique identifiers assigned to all of our physical materials, and we'll be adding those items onto our Mukurtu instance, so that people interested in accessing our physical collection will know what we have. And we're really excited about getting that put online. As I mentioned, we have been working with the Library of Congress. And so here you can go and look at what materials we had gotten from them. We're still in the process of uploading and inputting some materials. This is one of my favorite examples. And this was an item that we had discovered at the Library of Congress, and it was a letter from a Russian priest to the Russian church hierarchy. But this letter was written in Russian. And so by working with the local priest, and I apologize if anyone belongs to the Russian Orthodox Church, and if I use the wrong, I believe that it's called a priest. And so he was very excited because there's also history gaps in a lot of our communities, including our church communities. So he actually had a connection to this highly revered scholar and educator, Sergei Khan, who's literally written books about our Russian Orthodox history in Alaska. And so Sergei Khan actually translated this letter for us. And he's a professor of anthropology at Dartmouth. And so you can actually access the translated letter. So we're not only providing, filling in those history gaps for ourselves, we're, helping with that knowledge repatriation to other communities. And so I also, this browse category, you can put keywords in here. So I just typed in waterfront because, we have a beautiful waterfront and it's changed over time. And it'll come up with everything that is either it's listed in the name, or it's listed in the body or the text, or we've assigned it that keyword. So it also works for names, any word that you'd want to search for. You can also browse by category or media type. So say you want to look at all the videos that we have. Huna has a very proud basketball history. And because I mentioned my bandwidth isn't that great, I don't want to try to show you online because it is going to buffer. I'm not sure what's going on today with our bandwidth, but well, that wasn't what I wanted to show you. So here we have, this is how we've got them saved. And so
basketball was always a big thing in Huna.
We go down between the houses and put up our own roof and build a big roof. They had a city team. Howard Gray was the first manager. They're the champs, the city team. Yeah, he coached the Huna team, Huna community team.
Yeah, Huna had a lot of good ball players, and when I went away, my heroes at the time were the Huna NBs, of course, we all went into the A&B hall when the A&B was practicing, and you know, kids like we were waiting for a ball to bounce our way so we could grab it and shoot. And every once in a while, they try to chase us out of there, you know, out of the gym.
I learned from them. I learned how to play. I didn't know nothing when I got out of high school. It was more from.
So this film, I just wanted to share an example of one of the films that we created. This was using, as you can see here, some archival footage that we had, but we also created new content by interviewing people, you know, today who could help explain, you know, some of our basketball history. And like many Alaskan communities, or and in particular Southeast communities, I think, you know, basketball is a very important part of our history. So this was a really fun project to be able to take content that we had existing and really fill it in with some new interviews and put it together for a film that we could share out into our community. We also, and these are not all of the films that we have, but this is one that we created with all new material. And I'll just show you a small piece of this. This is a 12 minutes in length.
I've been learning how to smoke since I could carry a knife. Since I could split, I was probably 12. My mom got me out there.
We just wanted to highlight some of the different smokehouses because they can all vary. So I'm just kind of fast forwarding through some of this.
Initially, you know, you have some mistakes along the line. And so I always encourage people not to give up, you know, so to make sure that they do it with, you know, goodness in their heart. My mother used to say, never work on food if you're angry or if you're mad.
You know, Johanna here showing us and Aaron St. Clair. He's showing us a smokehouse that belonged to his parents and talking about how they taught him. Another local, Ida Jean. Dwayne Jack, he has two. He has a smaller smokehouse, and then he's got his bigger smokehouse here. And he explains why he has the two different smokehouses.
It can't be wet or slimy, but as soon as it gets dry and kind of.
And so the community was really happy to see this film too, and we got to just highlight some of our locals and their different smokehouses. And this is Edna Scaffoldstead, and she's showing us her smokehouse.
We could lay the strips down on because I didn't like hanging them. I didn't like tying strings them and hanging them up or anything. So we just decided the racks were going to be most suitable for us. I just like preparing my own food. I like the idea that, you know, if you want something, you like it, you prepare it yourself, and the sharing. I believe every house should have a smokehouse, and I believe your smokehouse should be just custom to your needs. What do you want it for? What do you need it for?
And we've also done some how-to videos, and I just wanted to share that as another example.
My name is Anthony Lindoff. My Tlingit name is Kakudi, and I am Kagwantan of the Gooch Hit House. And it is my pleasure to provide this overview on Shluos, which is the Tlingit word for fireweed, a tall perennial flower belonging to the evening primrose family. Fireweed has long been recognized as an indicator of time. When the blossoms reach the top of the plant, it is time for the salmon to go upstream, and a sign that summer is at an end. Fireweed has many uses and has been traditionally harvested at different times of the season, depending on harvest of shoots, leaves, blossoms, or roots. The shoots can be harvested in early spring for eating raw or sauteed or steamed like asparagus. The leaves harvested prior to flowering can be used as salad greens and in recipes. Flowers and leaves can be used to make tea. Blossoms can be used in a variety of recipes, including fireweed, honey, or jelly, or eaten in salads.
And so, excuse me, our next step, we're really excited. We were just notified that we were funded for an IMLS enhancement grant. And our project is titled Bringing Our Archives Full Circle. And so we have gotten, I think, some great progress with organizing our digital content, adding to it. We're comfortable with that, and creating new content, bringing forward existing materials, making those accessible. And so we've also organized our physical archive because of the skills and the understanding and the how-to that we've gained through creating our digital archives. And so now we want to package our materials within our digital and physical archives so that we really focus on use. We've heard from a lot of students and teachers and community members where we do presentations on, how can we use this? And so we want to develop some lesson plans, some how to use our archive materials. And so we're really excited to begin this new project and really feel like it will help others to know how to use the materials that we have. And I just really want to thank everyone for taking the time. I hope that some of this was helpful to you. And I have my contact information here. Please feel free to email me with any questions that you have. And we do have some time left for questions that any of you may have right now.
Amelia, I'm going to quickly turn off the recording, but we'll still be available to answer any questions, okay?
All right, thank you, Julie.